righty. Well, good morning or afternoon or evening or whatever it is. It's at some time of day. I don't know. The sun's still up. So we're still getting some daylight. So there's that. But anyway, my goodness. Yeah. Well, I want to talk a little bit right now about globalism. And, my personal belief is that globalism is one of the greatest evils that we've seen in modern times. I think globalism will rival Nazism in the annals of history for the greatest evil that the world has ever seen. I think it'll be right up there. It'll either tie or it'll surpass it. Basically, globalism is an anti-God, anti-Christ, and anti-human thing. In Canada here, we have a globalist government, and our government despises us. Our government loves to do things to us to make our lives harder. They love to do things to us that involve us dying. They just love it when Canadians die. That's a big thing, and they love to see Canadians suffer. And all their policies and everything, it's all about death and suffering for people. This is what they want. You got to do your part by suffering and dying. Basically, that's the mantra of the globalist. And don't complain about it while you do it. We don't want to hear any whining about how we're killing you. We just want you to go off and die quietly, because we don't like our victims to talk about what we're doing to them. And we're going to pass laws to prevent you from talking about it, or if you do talk about it, and if you succeed in talking about it, then we're going to come for you. And that this is what our government is like. Right now, they're offering assisted suicide as an alternative to poverty, as an alternative to mental illness, as an alternative to repairable medical conditions, the things that could be treated, things that could be fixed. It's cheaper to kill somebody than it is to operate on them, Cheaper to kill somebody than it is to replace their knee joints or their hip or whatever, or to provide them with an access ramp or an access elevator so they can get in and out of their house. Whatever it happens to be, cheaper to kill these people than to look after them. And so that's what we've got here anyway with our socialized medical system. We got a heavy promotion of assisted suicide through a program called the MAID program. MAID, Medical Assistance in Dying. Anyway, yeah, it's pretty bad. Our deputy prime minister told us that we need to suffer, Chrystia Freeland told us that we need to suffer at the pumps so that we can be aware of how much harm our behavior is doing to the planet. She's lectured us about how she doesn't own a car, how her father gets after her about that, because she doesn't own a car. In the meantime, she has access to a government-provided limousine with a chauffeur. And what she does is, if she flies to another jurisdiction or to another country, rather than to use the car and driver provided for her there, she has her chauffeur drive her personal car, her government-issued personal car as her personal chauffeur, drive it down to wherever she's going and meet her at the airport. And then she has her own car and chauffeur for the duration of her trip. And then when she leaves, he drives the car home. And so she's telling us, though, that we don't need to have a car, and that if we're going to insist on having a car, then we're going to have to suffer. We're going to have to pay for the nose and suffer, because our behavior is destroying the planet. Yeah, just total nonsense. We have a prime minister who uses the royal we in his conversations. He in his speeches and so on, he keeps saying, let me assure you, I speak for all Canadians. I speak for all Canadians. Well, he doesn't speak for me, and I know a bunch of others he doesn't speak for too. And he'll use the royal we, like during the trucker convoy. He was talking about people who were refusing to get the shots, and he was saying how basically we're anti-science, we're misogynistic and racist. Now, I admit I am kind of misogynistic, but that has nothing to do with being anti-science or anything. It just has to do with having a lot of bad experiences with women. But the bottom line is, and seeing and knowing a lot of really mentally ill, disturbed women, and having to deal with the mess that brings into your life, But the thing is, that has nothing to do with my why I'm against the shots. They're separate issues, and I'm certainly not racist, and I'm certainly not anti-science. I'm anti hiding behind science and calling something science that isn't science. I'm against that. I'm against using a fake idea of science to to justify forcing people to do things that aren't in their best interest. Look, it's similar to being against a false religion. If I'm against a false religion, a religious cult that teaches error, that actually dabbles in scriptural error, and makes God out to be somebody he is not, does that make me anti-God? Does that make me anti-Christ? I don't think so. I don't think that being against the adulteration and subsequent exploitation of a thing means that you're anti that thing, whatever it is, whether it be anti-God or anti-science or whatever. I don't believe that that's true. That it means that you're against these things if you're against false versions of them that are being concocted by dishonest people to promote evil agendas. Anyway, the bottom line is our prime minister is a rabid globalist, as is the deputy prime minister. Our government is pretty much made up of rabid globalists, and that's a big part of the reason we're in the situation we're in. But anyway, the bottom line is globalism, wherever it rears its ugly head, hurts people. It actually does. It hurts people. It injures people. It kills people. It's a bad thing. Basically globalism combines communism with fascism, two of the most brutal systems that we've known in modern times. It combines communism with fascism, and then it throws in a touch of feudalism, which is another evil. So, how can you combine three bad ingredients and get a good soup? I could piss, shit, and vomit into a pot and cook that up and call it soup. Would you want to eat it? I don't think so. One bad ingredient wouldn't make the other ingredients palatable that are also bad. Well, it was no good until I took a shit in it, and that made it though. That shit that I took in there, that made it good. You know, if it was just piss and vomit, it wouldn't be any good. But because I took a shit in there too, that's what saved it. No, I mean, you know, yet we're expected to believe that globalism, which really is a combination of communism, fascism, and feudalism, all of which are horrible things, that's a good system because of the combination of the things. You know, it's like, no, it isn't. Anyway, you know, you can't cook up something using filthy, disgusting, adulterated ingredients and get a good meal out of it, no matter what you do. If the food you start out with is rotten, or if it isn't even food, but it's in fact filth, you're not going to get anything good out of that. And the thing is, that's basically what globalism is. It's a combination of all the worst isms, you know. It's a combination of communism, fascism, and feudalism. See, all those bad isms are in there. And that's what globalism is. It's combining those three bad things into one soup and then putting it down in front of the people and saying, eat this, it's good. You'll like it. No, you won't like it. It'll make you sick. It'll hurt you. It might even kill you. In fact, that's part of the goal, is they want to get rid of as many of us as possible. And so, again, I come back to the idea that globalism is, in fact, a huge evil. It's a scourge upon the earth. And, you know, we need to recognize it for what it is, that's all. You know, and not to fall into its various traps. Because these people, these globalists, they have a lot of different ways of dividing us. They have a lot of different traps that they set for us. And once you get into one of their traps, it's very difficult to get out of it. And I mean, people wonder why I don't trust the government of Canada. I don't trust the government of Canada because it has sworn its allegiance to the system of globalism. And I don't trust a globalist. You know, that's all I need to know about somebody, is that they're a globalist. And if I would have trusted them, I won't trust them. So, you know, being a globalist is not going to, it's not going to win me over, that's for sure. In fact, I'm going to be looking at you very closely and scrutinizing you very closely if you're a globalist, because I'm going to assume you're up to no good. And so far, they're proving themselves to be up to no good. So there is a justification for that. It's not just a mental illness thing or a deceitful thing or whatever else people may say. It's just seeing things as they are and not being agreeable to things that are showing themselves to be great evils. That's all. Anyway, globalism needs to go the way of the dodo bird. All right, we'll talk later. Oh, wait a minute. Rocky's in his box. We're doing a patented Rocky cam here. The patented Camp Crazy Rocky cam. I got the helicopter going there. The helicopter going there. Okay. We'll see you later.